slaves of God. Our seminar is entitled, Till I Die. We want to stay dedicated to Jesus till we die. And I made an appeal at GYC last year in my final morning devotional message that we would either finish Jesus' work in this generation or die trying.
Amen.
In order to do that, that means we must know the science of how to maintain a commitment to Christ. So I think from this particular seminar today, the attitude must first begin with a sense of, the devil doesn't stop. It must first begin with an understanding of identity. So I want to start talking about slaves of God, a New Testament metaphor for total devotion to Christ. So now, we live in a generation where there's a problem of commitment. Did you know that? You know, nowadays, when I was canvassing, I was knocking on some doors in a very rural area in Michigan. There was like 2 houses per street. There were more gnats on the street than there were homes. And I came to this one home, this couple that was from Germany. And as we began to dialogue, a man and a woman stepped out and we began to talk about the books that I was sharing with them. And immediately, I thought, you know, trying to be a good canvasser, okay, so see what kind of relationship they have. Maybe these books will be good for family worship time as husband and wife. Now, I assume.
Oh, boy.
Immediately, they looked at me and they said, we're not married. Oh, okay, so you guys are just, you know, interested in one another. I said, no, we're just partners. Partners. You know, I think partners as, you know, McDonald's partnered with Chipotle. You know, GYC partnered with, you know, Amazing Facts College of Evangelists. That's a partnership. But now there's this attitude and this mood, and that was about 7 years ago that I had that conversation. Now there's a mood in society that says, what's the point of just getting married? Now you have, you know, Jada Pinkett and Will Smith have an open relationship. I want you to know Jesus doesn't want an open relationship with us. And as we understand that at the very heart of Christianity, at the very heart of what it means to follow Christ is commitment. In fact, commitment is the test of discipleship. We have a problem of commitment. We are a generation that likes options. We're afraid to commit to something because we're not sure if we may still want something else. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. The paradox of choice. Some of us think the more freedom I have, the happier I will be. Yet scientific studies have shown that the more options a person has, the less satisfied they are with the decisions that they make. This is the devil's strategy with pluralism. Give you 50, 100 different kinds of Christianity to choose from. And people become so overwhelmed with choices. What is the argument you always hear? I can't believe there's just one way. Why do you think that the Baptists are wrong, or these people are wrong, and churches are fighting churches, and denominations are fighting denominations? Because we're a generation that likes options. You know, we like to have the option of getting wireless on our cell phone or not. I may not turn it on because it drains my battery, but I like to have the option. When I come to the hotel, I want to have the option of, you know, do you want 2 double beds or would you like just 1 large king size bed? I just want to have the option. And we're obsessed with options. And as a result of that, that leads us into a state of paralysis and a fear of commitment. Because if I commit, I'm restricting my freedom later on. In business, we call this opportunity cost. What word did I just say?
Opportunity cost.
And an opportunity cost, it is a reminder in economics that as soon as you say yes to one thing, you've automatically lost the other. And so we say opportunity cost is what you could have had you made a different choice. That was the cost of making this choice. So let's put this in the context that young people like to talk about, relationships. As soon as you choose to get into a relationship with one person, The opportunity costs are all the other single women that still exist. Somebody said, have mercy. Now, when you think about that, this is where some of us as guys, we're afraid to commit. Because what if we meet a girl who's a little prettier? What if we meet a girl who's a little more spiritual? What if we meet a young lady that's a little more evangelistic? Maybe she's preached her own evangelistic series, and so we're like, oh man, I made a choice too soon. You know, those are people who end up never getting married. And then by the time they get married, still not satisfied. Too many choices. See, back in the day, we didn't have options. Amen. There weren't options. There was no internet dating. There wasn't this, you know, whatever the Adventist relationship website is, let's go on a singles cruise. It did not exist. So now when we're going to Bahamas, you know, she looks good with the Jamaican in the background, and easy to fall in love on a tropical island. We have options. But it may be actually hurting us, and thus leading us into a paralysis and a problem of commitment, even in marriage and relationships. Now you have people who, when they get married, it really doesn't mean much. I'm sure if I took a poll and a survey in this room, how many lives have been impacted by divorce? It would be more than half this room. And I want you to understand something. If you've ever been affected by divorce, my mother has been remarried 3 times. My father, twice. The breakdown as to why all that pain came into your life was simply a failure to maintain commitment. And you understand now why God hates divorce. God will never divorce you.
Amen.
I want to give you a quick snippet. When you look in the life of Jesus, there's one interesting fact that you find. Jesus never walks away from one person in the Gospels. Everyone who leaves Jesus, it's because they left him. True. The rich young ruler, Jesus stood right there. It was he who went away sorrowful. The Pharisees came, Jesus didn't leave them. They walked away. The men who brought the woman caught in adultery, they walked away. Guess who stayed? The woman caught in adultery. Guess who was changed? The woman who stayed. The one who was willing to maintain commitment. As a result of this divorce rate, some of us, even in our early relationships, you know, we get people who are 13 years old. This guy was telling me, you know, I just broke up with my girlfriend. How old are you? 13. And he started to tell me all the issues. You know, our communication was bad.
Oh, no.
Communication? What, do you have an 8th grade vocabulary? Things just didn't work out. She said some things on Facebook I didn't like. I'm sure those of us who are on Facebook understand what I'm talking about. A person makes a very bad comment, one person responds, and another person responds, and next you know it went from 3 comments to 54. And it's an actual Facebook argument. And then it turns into private messages, and that's when it gets really ugly. 13 years old, talking about communication problems. But really what he's doing is he's practicing divorce.
Wow.
And I can tell you, not having grown up in the church, I understand. He's 13 years old, the Lord has to help me. I was dating this girl at 16. Don't ask me any questions. Just know that the Lord found me. And I'm 13 years old, thinking, you know, I'm the coolest thing that ever happened to Chicago, because my girlfriend is 3 years older than me. And she was about 3 feet taller than me, too. But as I think about all the relationships I went through, before finally becoming a Christian, Christian in recognizing the biblical understanding of marriage, which Ellen White says, when the divine principles are recognized and practiced in this relationship, marriage is a blessing.
Amen.
It restrains the evil of society. But when the devil has you growing up being trained to break commitments, get a girlfriend, why? Because she was cute, you liked her, whatever the case may be, and then all of a sudden when the real commitment comes in, you can't handle it. So you learn the lesson. I remember breaking up with a girlfriend when I was 19. And as we were talking on the phone, you know, conversation starts escalating, and it came to that little awkward silence. Are you breaking up with me? And I remember thinking in my mind, I guess so. And she said, well, I don't understand why. And I said to her, Lord, forgive me. I said, I don't need a girlfriend for stress. This is a voluntary choice. So if I keep you in my life and this is stressing me out, I'm bringing stress into my own life voluntarily. Now that's true, it's not kind or Christian. And I'm not endorsing it. Let me go on recording and say that. But at the time, that was the mentality. Commitments can be easily made and easily broken. This little picture I found, success seems to be largely a matter of hanging on after others have left it. See this little cat? You know, some of you like cats, I'm allergic. The picture suits the same. We find in the Christian life that it's not how you begin the Christian life, it's how you finish.
Amen.
We like to hear a powerful testimony, but it's not about how you started, it's how you finish. Matter of fact, it's if you finish. That's what this seminar is about. I think about it all the time. Sebastian, who cares if you have a powerful testimony? Who cares if this is how the Lord orchestrated things to bring you into the church if you don't make it to heaven?
That's true.
It only makes it greater,
The loss.
more sorrowful to think of the marvelous things that God has done in your life and you still don't make it. Because it's not how you start the Christian life. It's how you finish and if you finish.